Alright, so boom, today we're reacting to what happened to the chosen one. And to be honest, this is coming right off the France loss against Spain. And I kind of wanted Mbappe to win, bro. I was rooting for France. They've been the better team this World Cup. I don't know too much about the sport, but you feel me? I feel like they've been performing way better. I was surprised to see them lose, bro. Spain went crazy out of nowhere and just cooked them. And France didn't really do much. But this is, you feel me? This is supposed to be like saying why Mbappe was supposed to be the chosen one. And all of a sudden he lost all his rep. Apparently now he's not as... Yamal's the new chosen one, I guess.
Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Then the world anointed KylianMbappe as their successor. At 19, he won the World Cup. He had the speed, the goals, the fame, and a childhood dream of becoming Real Madrid's next great icon. He wasn't simply expected to be brilliant, but expected to inherit the biggest sport on earth. But that crown comes with impossible pressure. Madrid kept falling short. PSG conquered Europe without him, and Lamine Yamal emerged as the new face of football's future. Suddenly, Mbappe wasn't chasing Messi and Ronaldo. He was also fighting to avoid being replaced. I met him at 19 years old before the pressure consumed his entire dream. Back then, Mbappe seemed destined to inherit football from Messi and Ronaldo. But after another loss to Spain in the World Cup, the question has changed. Can he still claim the crown, or has it already passed to Lamine Yamal? For the World Cups,
I feel like Lamine is better than Mbappe so far. Cause I'm not gonna lie, numbers wise, bro, I'm kind of new to this stuff, but it's looking like Mbappe's been going crazy. Lamine is quiet, but then Lamine wins the games, I guess. And then
before the BallonDor hype, and before he became one of the most famous people in the world, I visited Kylian Mbappe's hometown, and I talked to the people that raised him. I saw how the kids of his hometown mythologized him, and I talked to one of his first coaches, who told me the legends of the greatest player he ever mentored. And then, before he even became a superstar on the world stage, I sat down with him. I saw how Kylian talked about himself, and how he wasn't just tracing greatness for his own ego, but for the people he represented. So this was in October 2018. I flew into Paris to interview Kylian Mbappe, and at the time he had just transferred over from Monaco to PSG. And in that moment, he wasn't the center of the story. It was Neymar, who had just transferred over from Barcelona and had started an enormous storm of hype around PSG. At the time, Kylian was going through a world of change all at once. He was starting to take place in Nike photo shoots. It was hard for him to go anywhere because of how famous he was starting to get. And Paris was so excited for his arrival in the city. The Nike employees at the store on the Champs-Elysees, the biggest one in Paris, told me his jersey was as popular as Neymar, which was a bit crazy given that Mbappe was not yet a global star. Nobody was calling him the next Messi or Ronaldo, at least not yet. And this was when he was still just a very good young player walking into a locker room that also had another icon already in it. But to understand Kylian Mbappe, you have to understand where he's from. Bondy is located about 10 kilometers northeast of Paris and is technically part of the metro area, but is seen as the Banlieues, the working class immigrant heavy suburbs that are often stigmatized in French politics.
Tout simplement parce qu'il y a des valeurs que vous gardez avec vous partout où vous allez.
So is he from like a poor area or just like a suburb, like a middle class area before immigrants only?
J'étais vraiment issu d'un quartier populaire où vraiment c'était vraiment la passion du jeu qui primait surtout, donc j'ai essayé de garder cette passion du jeu avec moi partout où je suis allé, et jusqu'ici elle est restée avec moi.
The area is home to a large population of African and Arab immigrants and is one of the most ethnically diverse places in France. But that diversity has historically been weaponized in politics, often stereotyped as a breeding ground for crime or Islamic extremism. In 2005, 2 boys were electrocuted while hiding from the police, and the event set off weeks of protests and riots, sparking a
electrocuted
national conversation around racism, policing, and inequality. Bondy became shorthand for France's deep social divide.
Changé, notamment avec mon explosion qui fait que la ville a été beaucoup plus mise en lumière. Donc on est allé chercher dans les profondeurs de la ville. Donc c'est pas seulement arrêté à l'image. Les gens ont vu que en fait c'était pas une ville comme ça et que c'était une ville tout à fait accueillante pour les gens qui aiment le foot. Là parce qu'il y a eu 2-3 incidents qui ont fait que on fait vite un raccourci. Donc ils ont vite fait une généralité alors que les gens ne sont pas du tout comme ça. Je pense que ça arrive dans toutes les villes qu'il y ait des incidents, donc, mais les gens on en fait une fixation, c'est ça qui est dommage.
And so when I talked to parents at his hometown club, they told me how much Mbappe's success, even at that point, had completely changed the perception of the area. Before Mbappe, PSG was never a club that people dreamed of playing for. It was a place that people went maybe in the sunset of their career to get some money. When he arrived, PSG was still this club that...
So it was like China, bro. Like basically in NBA terms, they went there to retire, get a bag, but people weren't trying to go there to win chips.
I was a rich outsider. It was funded by Qatar, and it felt like they were just trying to buy their way into soccer royalty. But Mbappe helped transform that image. Because he was a native of Paris, he made the team feel organically a part of the city and not some foreign investment project. He made it feel French. And then PSG started dominating in France, and Mbappe started quickly outshining Neymar, becoming the centerpiece of this team. And it was just months after I sat down with him that his life completely
y'all feel like Mbappe
took
would be better than Neymar like off the bat.
The next year, Mbappe won the
or
World
took
Cup
him a
at
couple
19
years to catch up.
He became the second teenager ever to score in a World Cup final after Pele. He outshined the biggest names in France, Paul Pogba and Antoine Griezmann. He may have been the youngest star, but he was the brightest. And in Paris, the symbolism of a black kid from Bondy leading France to glory became seismic. Overnight, Mbappe was no longer just Bondy's local myth, but a national icon. That 2018 World Cup, when he won it at such a young age, was where that chosen one narrative really started, because before that, he was just a promising young player on a really rich club. After that, he was the next Messi, Ronaldo, and everyone had decided what his future would become even before he had actually fulfilled any of it. If you like stories about sports history, make sure to subscribe to see more. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers before the end of the summer, and if you follow this channel, you know that I don't take any sports gambling sponsorships, and I never will. And so if you support sports journalism without sports gambling sponsors, make sure to subscribe. It's what makes all of this possible. It's you. PSG became Mbappe's team more than Neymar's. He became the top scorer in Ligue 1 every year since 2018 to 2019, and PSG made its deepest Champions League run ever in 2020, losing in the final to Bayern Munich, but with Mbappe leading the charge. And after all that, he was no longer just a young prodigy. And he was...
I feel like Mbappe led the charge in that 2020 finals run, bro, where PSG went to face Bayern Munich. Because I ain't gonna lie, I don't know. I feel like... I didn't see it, bro. I'm gonna have to go look at the highlights, bro.
He was one of the most famous people in the world. And then came the celebrity. Mbappe became the cover star for the FIFA video game for 3 years in a row. He became one of the faces of Nike, and LeBron called him the chosen one. French politicians like Emmanuel Macron pointed to Mbappe as a symbol of unity and progress, especially against the rise of right-wing politician Marine Le Pen. His name began to outgrow PSG. People supported Mbappe, not just the club. The buzz for the BallonDor grew louder every single year, and every Champions League exit started to feel heavier. He was no longer becoming the guy. He was the guy. And that's when the Madrid rumors started to come back, louder and more serious. The rumors around Mbappe going to Madrid started after France won the World Cup in 2018, and there was always going to be a crossroads at some point. For most of the players, the road to Real Madrid is one way. When they call, you go. It's not a negotiation, it's not a question, it's a coronation. You're chosen. And for years, Real Madrid had chased Mbappe, and Mbappe had chased them. Mbappe dreamed of this moment as a child. He had the photos of Ronaldo plastered all over the walls of his childhood bedroom. Mbappe had inspired so many kids in his hometown to chase their dream. And this is what his first coach told me.
Now, Paris is a dream for the young player because they have a dream team. They have a dream team now. When Kylian was a child, they don't have a dream team. It was Real Madrid. He was a big fan of Ronaldo.
And even back then, he wasn't just trying to be the best player in the world. He wanted to be a symbol because he knew everything that he represented for his hometown, for France, and for this generation of soccer. He was always a kid with a dream, and this was always the dream. The white jersey, the Santiago Bernabeu, the weight and glory of being the next king at the most powerful club on earth. But then the decision started to become more complicated because by the time the call came from Real Madrid, the world had changed. PSG was trying to take the team to the next level, signing on Messi to team up with Neymar and Mbappe for what was a top...
Yo, that's a crazy trio. Hold up. Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe, bro.
Heavy super team. Madrid chased him in 2022 and they thought the deal was done. People on Twitter even photoshopped him into a white kid. But then French President Emmanuel Macron personally intervened and the Emir of Qatar got involved too. The
French president and the Emir, who I'm guessing is like the president of Qatar, both called Mbappe and sat him down personally when he tried to leave Paris, bro. They were like, nah, you can't go to Madrid, bro. Watch.
political
It was
machine
getting political,
rallied
bro.
to
It's not
keep
even, he's above football.
Mbappe in France. Mbappe was no longer just a
dictator memes are not a joke. They actually look hero.
footballer. He was the cultural glue of a country still navigating its identity. And in our interview 5 years before that decision, Mbappe laid out how important it was for him to represent France.
Franchement, c'est vraiment quelque chose de cool parce que représenter son pays, c'est une fierté sans nom. Ça n'a pas d'égal, donc c'est vraiment un grand plaisir pour moi de représenter mon pays. Je pense qu'il faut donner le meilleur de soi-même pour son pays, c'est ce que j'essaie de faire à chaque fois que je joue pour l'équipe de France.
But even after World Cup final, the expectations never stopped. In 2023, riots broke out across France after a 17-year-old was killed by the police. Protesters took to the streets, many of them young, many of them from places like BallonDor. Mbappe posted a statement calling the incident unacceptable, expressing grief for the family. But some reports said his message was shaped by the French government, even influenced by Emmanuel Macron himself. The pressure wasn't just about being a football star anymore.
Is Mbappe like on the good side of French politics? Is he on the bad side?
And for others, a symbol that was being used by Macron. And then, in 2024, Mbappe had become such an important figure in France that he endorsed Macron over Le Pen in an election, saying that his home country needed to stay away from extremism. And in the eyes of many French people, he was carrying the soul of the country. During all of this, I couldn't help but think about my interview with him when he talked about representing BallonDor, how important representing his hometown was not just for him in France, but globally. He was trying to win the one thing PSG didn't have, a Champions League, before going to Madrid.
Passion pour le jeu, je me disais que cette passion, j'ai pas triché, je triche pas, je suis vraiment passionné, donc je serais prêt à tout pour atteindre ces rêves-là. Donc c'était vraiment plus un rêve plutôt que quelque chose de calculé où je savais. C'était vraiment, je me laissais guider par mes rêves.
After turning Madrid down, Mbappe signed a short extension with PSG. The world saw it as a power move. Mbappe wasn't just staying. He was given unprecedented control, input on strategy, recruitment, and even management. PSG didn't just make him the face of the club, but its centerpiece and even a decision maker. The pressure started to mount on Mbappe, and when PSG crashed out of the Champions League again, this time thanks to Bayern, the weight didn't fall on Neymar or Messi. It was on Mbappe. And so at that point, even with a team that had Neymar and Messi on it, the weight of failure fell on the shoulders of Mbappe because he was the face of the team that had taken PSG to a new level. And what once seemed like this noble move to try to help PSG win a Champions League, to help your hometown team go to the next level, started to feel like that maybe it was a little bit misguided. The French media turned on him and people questioned his leadership. The myth was starting to weigh on Mbappe. But even still, Real Madrid kept lurking. The Spanish press ran weekly Mbappe rumors. Every micro-expression on Mbappe's face became a story. And he never shut down the rumors. He kept the story alive for himself as much as anyone else. And then Messi and Neymar both left. Luis Enrique came in as the manager and started to restructure the team around youth. PSG started preparing for life after Mbappe. And Mbappe announced that he wouldn't be renewing his contract again. PSG imploded, benching him in training as retaliation. Mbappe's final season ended up becoming a farewell tour, and PSG won Ligue 1. But the Champions League title never came. Most players only get one chance to wear the white jersey of Real Madrid, and if they say no the first time, that door closes forever. But with Mbappe, he didn't just get one chance. He didn't just get two chances. He got 3 chances. And he was the exception to the rule. And it showed how much Real Madrid and Kylian Mbappe wanted.
They basically
this
had to beg
to
for the guy.
Real Madrid wanted him as much as he wanted them. This was the kid who visited Madrid and met Ronaldo and took photos with him in training gear. This was a full circle moment, a decade in the making. Everyone wanted the poster on the bedroom wall to become reality. But turning down Madrid changed everything. In 2024, Madrid had already won the Champions League without Mbappe. Vinicius Jr. was a star. Jude Bellingham was a revelation. They had a team. And so when Mbappe finally said yes, the question wasn't just, can he lead us? Master Tesfazian is a soccer analyst for CBS Scalazzo and a massive Real Madrid fan.
He probably would have gotten more time to ease himself into the club. There still would have been very high expectations, don't get me wrong, because they're looking at him as the heir apparent to Cristiano Ronaldo, a new Galacticos era, opening for Real Madrid, that they've been able to do time and time again under Florentino Perez. But now it's like, look,
so Messi is,
we just won Champions League without you.
Messi.
We just won La Liga without you.
And Ronaldo is
like, how are you
Mbappe.
going to make us better?
And it wasn't just the pressure of being a new member of Real Madrid. It was the weight of every single decision that had led to that moment.
I guess in soccer, y'all need a rivalry, bro.
C'est la seule chose pour moi qui est difficile parce que je pense que le football c'est une chose parce que comme j'ai dit j'ai une passion, j'arrive à passer au-dessus de tout, mais dans la vie, bah, vous êtes quelqu'un de normal.
In life, you're just one person. I want to say
Je vais pas dire malheureusement, mais je suis devenu célèbre très tôt, donc il y a plein de choses dans la vie que j'ai pas faites.
So I didn't experience like everyone else. That's something that's really hard.
Après, il faut s'adapter et je pense que
But you have to adapt, and I think it has so many other advantages. That's all.
mais de faire des choses que
I miss
bah,
doing
tout le
things
monde
that
fait.
everyone else done.
De
When I
sortir
was
entre
friends for an
copains,
afternoon,
petit
going to
après-midi,
movies, going to
aller au
amusement park,
cinéma, aller
eating at a
dans les
restaurant,
parcs
not have to
d'attractions,
go to a
aller
restaurant,
faire plein
has to be
d'activités,
planned,
aller
I'm
manger au
not gonna
restaurant.
Otherwise, I
Maintenant,
think
quand
we
je vais au
cause a
restaurant,
riot.
il faut que ce soit prévu un mois à l'avance parce que sinon, bah, je crois qu'on peut fermer le restaurant. C'est
So
vraiment
like he
des
can't
choses
really go
complètement
outside. He
différentes.
can't enjoy
At
himself.
PSG, everything revolved around Mbappe. But at Real Madrid, no one was bigger than the club. He had to adjust to the team, not the other way around. And it
I'm
showed.
too lazy to read,
The first
bro.
few months were rough, and the pressure became
trying to
suffocating.
read back
And
Clueless.
as Real Madrid was struggling to fit in Mbappe next to Jude Bellingham and Vinicius Jr., the rest of the soccer world had changed without them. And the stakes of the situation completely evolved. The context in which Mbappe was trying to become the next icon of Real Madrid had changed. PSG didn't collapse when he left. They soared. This season, they finally won the Champions League without him, thanks to Luis Enrique's project that blended veterans and youth.
Second
Vitinha
Mbappe
emerged
gone
as one of
to
the
be the
best
chip
midfielders
home,
in
bro.
Europe,
Like, come
while
on.
Desiree Doué exploded onto the scene as a dynamic attacker. Ousmane Dembele led a young, deep team that embodied the identity that PSG had been searching for, and Mbappe had once tried to build. And back in Spain, a 17-year-old in Barcelona was stealing the spotlight, Lamine Yamal. Yamal became a phenomenon this season, a kid with a left foot like Messi and
Spanish,
swagger
bro.
of
They
Neymar.
like him more,
He
bro.
dazzled
Mbappe's more
in El
loved in
Clasico
France
and led Spain to a
than
victory
Brazil-
over
than
France in the
Neymar,
Euros. He was
he was
fearless,
French,
and
bro.
electric. Barcelona had been struggling with bankruptcy after Messi left for PSG, but Yamal completely changed the prognosis for their timeline of success.
And the most impressive part about him too is that he's one of those guys that, as great as he looks on TV in person, you're even more amazed at how he's able to just do this effortlessly. You know, a boy amongst men that is looking like a giant. It truly is one of the most beautiful things about football when you're able to see a teenager just completely take over a field.
Oh my
And
god.
he's doing this in braces and hasn't even graduated yet, you know?
Mbappe didn't just have to live up to Real Madrid history, which for most
Cooking him.
people would probably be
like taking
enough
ankles.
pressure. While he was struggling, PSG and Madrid's biggest rival, Barcelona, were thriving. And so every single thing that Mbappe did or didn't do felt heavier. The goals weren't coming and the chemistry was off. Vinicius gave up penalties so Mbappe could gain confidence, and the team bent over backwards to help him, and the fans still booed. And this was Real Madrid,
Damn, they still
where
hate
there's no grace periods.
When you're playing for a big club, they talk about the heaviness and the weight of the shirt, the jersey that you're wearing. And it's the pressure that comes from wearing that shirt. Because again, every other kid dreams of wearing the shirt. And if you do not live up to the level and expectations of Real Madrid, which is always to win a championship or trophy in some capacity, Champions League, La Liga, Copa del Rey,
Gotta bring home.
if
a
you're not
chip.
able to fulfill that, it is not only just a failure season, it is a debacle. it is flat out like a pure meltdown and a rebuild that needs to happen immediately in the summertime. They have 15 Champions League trophies. No one even comes close.
So who's
Twice as
second?
much
How
more
much
than
does second place have?
second most team. Like this is
What is it?
twice as much more than the
Twice?
second most team. Like this is the golden standard of not just only soccer globally, but professional sports.
And Mbappe for France has always been more than just an athlete.
Who
he was a
is
symbol
second,
of
though?
what was
Like, who got 7 chips, bro? 7 to 4 or 15. I mean, is kind of bad.
possible in France.
Not gonna
He
lie.
was from
He
Bondy, he was from the
dominating.
Banuelos, and he was someone who represented the potential hope of what France could represent in the future. It's the reason why him endorsing Emmanuel Macron was such a big deal in the presidential election. He told me, even back in 2017, that he had given up so much just to get to that point. before the World Cups.
Before anything.
Toutes ces bêtises d'adolescents que vous gardez toute votre vie, que vous pouvez raconter à vos enfants, je pense que j'en ai pas beaucoup parce que lorsqu'on me dira qu'est-ce que tu as fait à 18 ans, je répondrai que j'étais déjà au Paris Saint-Germain et que malheureusement j'étais déjà une star, donc je restais à la maison. J'ai juste des anecdotes à la maison à raconter.
The kid who once felt ahead of his time suddenly feels on the clock. Even at 19 years old, he was putting all of this weight on his shoulder. And even 8 years later, he's still trying to prove himself. The journey hasn't ended. Tuesday in Dallas, Spain beat France 2-0, and Mbappe's World Cup ended in the semi-final. It's the same shape as everything since he arrived in Madrid. Individually, undeniable. Collectively, still short. Yamal's Spain won, not because Yamal outplayed him. Mbappe was still the better player across the tournament. But individual stories aren't what Real Madrid measures him against, and they're not what a World Cup final measures either. Spain plays for the trophy Sunday. France goes home. And maybe that's just who Mbappe is now, the best player on losing teams. Or maybe it's the same lesson Real Madrid has been trying to teach him for 2 years.
I feel like Mbappe kind of did better all tournament, bro. He was showing up. He was kind of the best player. Bellingham, low-key, was clutch too, bro. But like, Jamal was quiet, bro. He had one goal and assist before this game, bro. It's like, yeah, one goal contribution the entire tournament. Spain wasn't performing to the level of France. I have France, bro. They're disappointing, bro. It feels like Mbappe, like, he can never win, bro. It's like his legacy, he can't grab it.
This is just the loudest version of it yet. Being the best isn't the same as winning. Destiny doesn't mean anything without delivery. Mbappe has to win. He has to dominate. He has to own the story again, or else someone is going to write the ending for him. The dream was always Real Madrid, but now he's here. And dreams don't guarantee glory. He has the jersey, he has the spotlight. And now the question is simple. The kid who stared at the Ronaldo poster, now his kid's staring at him. But can he become their poster? That's the question.
Bro, y'all think Mbappe's gonna go down as an all-time great, bro? Because at the rate he is, you guys, I feel like he has to win a Champions League at Madrid. It's inevitable. And Mbappe is a great player, bro. Like, so far, bro. Y'all said, like, from what the guy said, bro, Madrid got double the chips out of any other team. They won a chip right before Mbappe came. He has to win one eventually. He'll probably grab another World Cup. Yeah, he can play like 3 more. If my math correct, y'all can tell me about that, bro. He might even play 4 more. Y'all, I don't know, bro. Y'all, my math, I'm new to this stuff, so I might not be doing the math right, bro. But the guy has so many more chances, and he already has 1, bro, which made Messi cemented as the GOAT. So if he could win a second one and win Champions Leagues, what we saying, bro? GOAT convo? Like, y'all let me know. Or is Lamine gonna be in the GOAT convo if he wins this World Cup, bro? Because I don't know if Lamine has any Champions League. Does he have any chips, bro? Lamine got any chips? But with that being said, bro, y'all let me know in the comments. Like, subscribe, and I'm seeing you on the next one.